Hi everybody, this is Cynthia Kane and welcome back to UL100ZB. This video tutorial is designed to give you an introduction to the web portfolio, which is going to be your culminating learning assessment depending upon the grade that you've chosen to pursue for your specifications grading. And it's also going to give you an introduction to the platform that you can use to create your web portfolio, which is a freely available platform called Wix. Now, what I've done is actually started in where we are right now, week 4 for visual literacy and citation. The reason that I'm starting here is that the learning assessment that you can choose to do for your infographic, which is creating an infographic based upon your topic, is actually going to be submitted on the beginning or the shell of your web portfolio in Wix. Essentially, you're going to be embedding your infographic into a page, into the beginning of your web portfolio. You will then publish your web portfolio, which is not going to be complete at this point, and you are going to submit the URL of your web portfolio so that Megan and I can take a look at your infographic that way and also see where you are at this point so that you're not doing a lot of work at the last minute to create your web portfolio. I'm going to click back here. And I'm going to scroll down actually to week 8. And this is available to you as well. So this is what we're talking about when we keep saying that there's a web portfolio that's due at the end of our class. Essentially, your web portfolio in Wix will consist of several pages. I'm going to show you in just a second how you create that in Wix. The requirements for the web portfolio will be a comprehensive overview of your topic, your infographic as a JPEG or a PNG file, which will be embedded into your web portfolio, which is part of your learning assessment for this week. And then you're going to identify from some of your previous learning assessments 5 recommended resources and 3 not recommended resources that you'll be doing in terms of an annotation. So it's very similar to an annotated bibliography. It's just going to appear in your web portfolio. What I want to do in this tutorial, though, is spend most of our time showing you how to start the shell of this web portfolio in Wix. So the address for that is www.wix.com. Some of you may have created web portfolios or websites before using Wix or Weebly or other types of freely available programs. If you haven't, this is going to be, I hope, a good learning experience for you. You can create a free account in Wix by clicking on Sign In. And you can either use your email and create a password for an account, or if you would want to link your web portfolio on Wix to your Facebook account, you can just click on Continue with Facebook. That's actually what I'm going to do. And here we are. Now you can see that I actually had several sites in Wix. I use this for my electronic portfolios that I have to do for my annual evaluations for my position. And it's a good way of just compiling a lot of information and having it available electronically for other people to view. We're going to click on Create New Site. And you can choose at this point the type of site that you would actually like to create. You can create a blog, or you can go to Other, or you can choose a template with the Wix editor. Now I'm going to give you a heads up. There are a lot of website templates that are available for free. And you can choose any of these to create your web portfolio and customize it. The only caveat that I have is that there's going to be a lot of extra or extraneous information that you may have to go through and delete that's already in these templates. So I'm actually going to use an example of a blank template simply because it's going to be the easiest way at this point for me to show you how to create the pages and other elements of your web portfolio. So we're going to go to Edit. And this is going to look pretty plain at this point, but that's okay because we can start changing it up as we go along. So the first thing that we are going to do is actually save as we go along. And when I click on Save, often Wix will go ahead and save your work automatically. But I always like to go ahead and click on Save, just simply because I don't want to lose all the good work that I've done already. We do have a naming convention that we want you to use for your web portfolio. So the first part will actually reflect whatever your name is, and this last part, we want this to be UL100ZB. So this is going to be unique, but everyone will have that last part for a naming convention of UL100ZB. And we're going to go ahead and click on Save and Continue. And we have not published this yet, but we will be doing this in a little bit. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually name my site. Now you know that I have been using the topic of electronic cigarettes. I'm going to go ahead and capitalize this. And I'm going to do health risk or healthy option. So that's sort of what I've decided to adopt right now. Now you notice when I click on edit text, I have a lot of text settings coming up here. I can bold, I can italicize, I can change my font. There's a lot of different things that I can do with this, and you can do this with any template that you use with Wix. And I'm going to stretch this out a little bit because I want that to show up a little bit better. So over here, this is actually where we're going to start renaming our pages to correspond with the way we want your e-portfolio to be, your web portfolio. Let's go to the page that's called About. It is very easy to rename a page. You can click on Manage Pages, click on this little dot here, and you can rename your page as you want. And I could change this to Topic Overview. I can keep renaming my pages here. Let's call this one Infographic. Now this one actually looks like it's a sub page. You notice I'm going to kind of drag that because I really didn't want it to be that way. And let's call this one Recommended Resources. Remember, that's another section that we want you to do. And finally, we will name this one Resources Not Recommended. So you see how fast this is to do in Wix. If you wanted to add any other pages, you can always go ahead and do that as well. So now I'm going to go to Infographic. And you can see now that this is showing that I'm on the infographic page. Now I can delete a lot of any extraneous information that I have on here, as you can see. And this is what you will want to do as you go along. And make sure that your pages are just very clean. There we are. So your infographic should be saved as a JPEG or a PNG file. And the reason for that is that this is the type of image that's going to be very easily uploaded into your infographic page in Wix. It's very easy to upload an image. If you go over here to the Add button, you can go to Image, and then go to My Image Uploads. And you can see that I actually uploaded an image already about electronic cigarettes that I might want to put on my home page just to kind of jazz that up a little bit. If I click on Upload Media, and if you click on Upload from Computer, this is where you can choose wherever you saved your specific infographic that you will create for this learning assessment, and then you can upload that into Wix accordingly. I'm actually going to use another example here. I'm going to go ahead and just upload this picture again because I just want to show you what this looks like when you upload an image. We're going to click on Open. This will be the same image that I already uploaded, by the way. But then this could actually be your infographic. And then you just want to make sure that the image that you want to import or embed your infographic is highlighted and click on Add to Page. And there it is. And that's what you're going to be doing for your infographic. So make sure that you create a page for your infographic and then embed that on that page as a JPEG file or a PNG file. And then that's what you're going to be submitting for your learning assessment. Once you're ready to do this, you would click on Publish. And this is the thing you absolutely have to do. If you don't publish your site before you submit this as your learning assessment for this week, Megan and I will not be able to see anything. And you can just copy that URL. We'll go back over here. Go back up to week 4. Go to infographic. You've embedded your infographic in your shell of your Wix portfolio. Go to submit assignment. Website URL. And paste that. And then we will be able to go ahead and look at your infographic within that page of your website. So remember, you do have to publish that first before we can actually see that. Going back to our website editor then, we'll be getting to another learning assessment later that's called Recommended Resources, and we will have you for that particular assessment as well actually put your recommended resources with your citation, a description of each citation, and then a review of why or why you don't think it's useful. We were going to have you go ahead and put that on this page as well for your recommended resources, and you will be submitting that later on. We will be coming back to our Wix site in our future tutorials, but I just wanted to give you a good start with starting to create that so again, it's not overwhelming for you. As always, ask Megan, ask me if you have any questions, but this is how you can create a web portfolio in Wix to start in on this learning assessment number 4 for your infographic. Good luck.